Diagnosing a cluster B personality disorder. Let's find out how difficult or how easy it is to diagnose someone with a cluster B. I'm going to shuffle this deck of cards that I made with lots of different cluster B traits, and we're going to randomly put the cards out on the table, and we will try to diagnose together at the same time. And let's see if we come up with the same diagnosis. And let me know in the comment section below if you agree or disagree with what I'm saying. Little to zero empathy, unstable mood, volatile emotions, inability to regulate emotions, egocentric relationships with the intent to exploit, preoccupied with their own and others' physical attractiveness, takes action without regard of consequences, sense of entitlement due to being special and unique, inappropriate touching of others, preoccupied with fantasies. I would diagnose this person as an overt narcissist. I'm saying that it's overt due to the two histrionic traits, the two yellow slides: inappropriate touching of others, crossing physical boundaries. That's also tied in with sense of entitlement. They're entitled to touch you whenever they feel like it. And they're preoccupied with their own and others' physical attractiveness. That is, in my opinion, a very classic narcissistic and an overt narcissistic trait, where they are just overtly occupied with how they look and how everyone else looks. I'm curious to hear how you would diagnose this person. Conflict within their environment is never a measure of their own unrealistic expectations. Self-harm, fear of abandonment, feelings of emptiness, observed lack of insight into the impact they have on others, inability to control outbursts when triggered. This, in my opinion, would be someone with borderline personality disorder. Hands down, I would say this person has BPD. Let me know your thoughts. Grandiosity, easily influenced, gullible, social predator, can appear to be normal in relationships. Zero concern for others' feelings, no empathy. Delusional. Seductive language is incorporated into most conversations. Controlled behavior. Calculated risk taker. Premeditated crimes to minimize evidence and exposure. Little to zero concern for rules, obligations, or social norms. Well, when we break this down, I know that the green slides are traditionally narcissistic traits, the two yellow slides are traditionally histrionic traits, and the 4 red slides are traditionally antisocial personality disorder traits. So even though there are more antisocial traits than the others, I would not diagnose this person as a sociopath or a psychopath. I would diagnose this person as a covert narcissist. And it's because of the delusional trait. Because in my opinion, being delusional is how I differentiate a narcissist from a sociopath or psychopath. I think that sociopaths and psychopaths are in general grounded in reality. They are 100% aware of their behavior, whereas narcissists, I think, are highly delusional. So that's why I would diagnose this person as a covert narcissist. Especially another is because it says controlled behavior, and I think of covert narcissists as being in control. In contrast, an overt narcissist, in my opinion, is someone who is highly impulsive. They don't have much self-control. And then it says premeditated crimes. I think that covert narcissists, everything's premeditated. They really think through their cons and their manipulation is all well thought out. So hands down, I would diagnose this person as a covert narcissist. I am really curious to hear your thoughts. How would you diagnose this person? Shallow emotions, rapidly shifting, irresponsible with other people's property, envious and jealous of others, fluid self-image, will not hesitate to lie or blame others, deceptive, exploitative, never experiences guilt or remorse, capacity to transition into a psychotic rage. I would diagnose this person as a sociopath, and even though I can see there are only 3 red tiles that are sociopathic, psychopathic traits. The yellow, the shallow emotions rapidly shifting, that is a histrionic trait, and at the fluid self-image and capacity to transition into psychotic rage, those are borderline traits. I think that when we meet someone who we suspect is a cluster B and we're not really sure what type of cluster B, I think often it is a sociopath, because I think that when we look at pure BPDs or pure NPDs or pure histrionics, they are not complicated. And I think that when the person has so many layers and the manipulation is so complex and complicated, I'm going to guess it's usually a sociopath. And so I'm going to diagnose this person as a sociopath. I'm really curious to hear how you would diagnose this person, because I think that it's definitely up for grabs. Zero empathy, highly impulsive, criminal activity, impulsively leaves clues and evidence after committing a crime, unable to maintain normal relationships, impulsively violent and impulsively aggressive, erratic behavior, flat affect, inappropriate affect, inappropriate reactions. They are born this way. They are born with low to zero empathy. They appear to be delusional due to impulsivity, which means that they are not delusional, they just can appear to be. Lack of charm, inappropriate or unresponsive social reactions, observable incapacity to love, appears to be introverted. I would hands down diagnose this person as a psychopath, and the giveaway would be the trait at the very bottom that says born this way, born without empathy, or at the very top, zero empathy. I would also not diagnose this person as a sociopath due to the fact that one of the traits says lack of charm. So I would suspect that would be a psychopath, someone who is born without empathy and their acting skills are not developed. In contrast, I think that most sociopaths have developed their acting skills, and they are often extremely charming. They are socialized psychopaths. I personally do not categorize borderline personality disorder in the same bracket as histrionic, narcissistic, and sociopathy. I really think that they are very different, and it's because the motive behind narcissists, sociopaths, and histrionics, it's based on defiance. The motive is, I want this, and I will do whatever I want to get it. In contrast, the borderline personality disorder, their motive is based on emotional dysregulation. The motive is, I don't know how to handle upsetting emotions. So you can see these, in my opinion, are completely different types of disorders. I personally don't categorize BPD with HPD, NPD, and sociopathy. I think that the motives are just polar opposite, and they don't have anything to do with each other. NPD, sociopathy, and the histrionic, they are defiant. They are out to con you. The BPD, the motive is not to con you. It's that the motive, it's due to the fact that they are not coping with very intense emotions in that moment.
If you enjoyed today's video, please give a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I appreciate it. Bye. Remember that labels are just that, a label, a starting point. And whether or not someone is labeled as being a narcissist or a borderline or a histrionic or a sociopath, etc., what really matters is whether or not you get along with this person. I try not to focus as much on labels as the individual as a whole. I ask myself, is this person someone that I can be around? Is this someone who is working towards positive changes in their life? Those are the questions that I ask. Those are the things that I'm going to hyper focus in on. It's not the label, because labels can be wrong. Sometimes people are misdiagnosed, and that's why I recommend that you make your decision based on hard evidence.